All right, hour number 3, Big Bad Morning Show. Rob Long's off today. Ed Norris, Jeremy Conn, and now Ken McKusick from Film Study Baltimore. Ken, how are you?
Life's good. How you doing?
I'm good. And as I was telling Ken, Pluribus is the show to watch if you guys have not watched it yet. Now,
many? What does that mean?
Many? What?
Latin.
Oh, you're the meaning of it. I don't know why it's named that, actually.
Yeah, because it doesn't mean many, right?
Yeah, e pluribus unum.
Oh,
in many one.
Many one, yeah.
Then it makes sense why it means many. All right, so now I understand.
Sorry I brought that up.
I know, Mr. Mensa over here's got to know, what's it mean? Why are we doing this? Sorry, Ed. Hey, Ken, Ken, I got to ask something to start off. How the hell did the Vikings have that many false start or penalties on offense? It just killed them in that game.
Yeah, it did, and it was great, I'll say. And part of me says the Ravens had to be involved in this, given the number and the home. It's just too much circumstantial evidence for there not to be something there. They had 8 in the game. I looked at all 8, and I have detail on it on my podcast. So if you want to check out filmstudybaltimore.com, that you'll get much more detail on it than you probably even want. But Van Noy and Hamilton seemed to be doing some dancing around the line of scrimmage was part of it. But a lot of it was just the Vikings screwing up. I mean,
they were home.
Yeah, they were home, and a whole bunch of different players were responsible. So it wasn't just all the right tackle, though he did 3 times.
I couldn't imagine being at home and having all 8. It was, and I think they're still blaming the Ravens.
Kevin O'Connell came out and said he didn't see any evidence that the Ravens were responsible for making any move call.
Who just had that in the league last week? Where they were clapping and kind of trying to simulate the snap count in one of the bigger games last week. And it never, I don't know, I'll have to look it up, but there was a big story last week that somebody was doing it.
Well, you guys probably know in college ball, they have a new rule in 25. You can't even do a defensive line shift. And if it creates a offensive line false start, you can be flagged for that for delay of game the way that you would be if you called out snap counts. Yeah.
One thing I like is, I always like talking defense. One of the things I do like were the tip passes. Pick, you have an exception. You have a couple, 3 tip passes at the line, things like this, where they look like they're trying to pry the ball loose again, knock things down, punch the ball out. Something that's been missing from this team for a while.
Yeah, shots on goal. They talked about it during the offseason, and it really looked like they are there in terms of getting more of them. Four passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
4, okay.
And none of those turned into interceptions, which is unfortunate. They had 2 loose bracket plays on the football. One of those ended up being, you know what I mean by that, safety, obviously playing loose on the back end. And Starks got one and Gilman dropped the other. So they got 1 out of 2. They got 3 punch outs on special teams. It's been really good, at least the last couple of weeks now. For 3 straight games now, over this 3-game winning streak, they're 7-0 in turnovers. So that's great.
That's incredible. Although they did put the ball on the ground 3 times. Just happened to bounce right back in their hands.
They got dribbling.
Yeah, they got very lucky with that. So, yeah.
I just figured out, or I just looked up and saw what team it was, and now I know why it went by the wayside, because this team's never been accused of cheating. The New England Patriots were accused by the Falcons of simulating a snap count and clapping their hands. And remember, they missed the extra point at the end of the game that would have tied it. So, Ken, I don't know. Did we get to talk to you last week about the trade and adding the pass rusher? Because I'm trying to remember when it went down exactly. I think it was after.
It was on Tuesday, and I was in on Monday because it was a Thursday.
Right. That's right. That's why. So give me your thoughts on the trade and anything you saw in this game.
Yeah, so Draymond Jones is a big addition, and it addressed one of their biggest needs. He's a versatile inside-outside player. We saw that in the very first game that he played inside next to Travis Jones. That's been a position they have really been shorthanded at. They haven't had anybody else to play the interior as a pass rusher. And Draymond shows up and has the second best day as a pass rusher of any Raven. And the best day was Travis Jones, who immediately is at a whole nother level. So hopefully this really improves the situation. I love what I saw from Draymond in this game. Didn't see much of him as a run defender because he was only on for 4 run snaps. They didn't run them all much, 18 times the whole game, but they used him primarily on
I think he was in for 39 snaps in the game, though. I thought he had like 30-something snaps, right?
Yeah, 35 pass, 4 run.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So he had a good percentage of the snaps. What do you say about Mike Green?
Really loving what I'm seeing from Mike Green right now, and that's another Draymond Jones value. There's two, at least coming out of it, regarding playing time. The first is that David Ajabo's snaps got cut very significantly from 35 to 10, and without trying to beat on the young man, he's not producing, and having 25 snaps of his taken out and replaced by Draymond Jones is a good thing. The other is that Mike Green's snaps were reduced slightly, and he looked much fresher at the end of the game. And in particular, the very last snap of the game, McCarthy held the ball for 10 full seconds. You can just watch a clock down. It runs from 19 to 9. Green is dogging him the whole time like he's 2000 Michael McCrary. I mean, he's got the highest motor you'll ever see from a pass rusher, as high as you've ever seen. He finally gets him, takes him down just as he throws the ball away for the game-winning plays. It was a terrific play. He had a great play against the run early, and one I think a lot of people missed from Mike Green. They lined up Justin Jefferson in the backfield on a play, and I've got the time reference on here somewhere in the notes here, but he knocks him sprawling back towards the sideline. Green does, as he tries to release from the backfield. It's of the level of, I think it's J.J. on Hines Ward or Ray Lewis on Chad Johnson. The two key. Oh yeah, take a look. And then he got blocked by the left tackle, and so he's held up for a second. And then McCarthy leaves the pocket. He chases him down for a 3-yard gain and tackles him from behind. Incredible high motor play. So I am so high right now on all three, and you could maybe include Keon Martin in this group, of the rookies and how well they're playing right now in terms of Starks, Green, and Buchanan.
Buchanan's the leading tackler on the team.
Yeah, triple biorhythm. They're all playing well right now.
Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on something, because, I mean, obviously we don't know what the answer is. We know what they called on the field. Did you think Roquan's pick was good?
Well, I thought it would have been hard to reverse, and listen to Mike Pereira. He seemed to agree in terms of he didn't really think it was reversible, although they're so loath to come out and really accuse the officials of having the wrong call that they. This
is why it's still flawed. They're so afraid. This is in life. Instead of getting it right, they don't want to embarrass anybody. I'm sure I can forgive them. They don't have a bird's eye view. They're on the field in the middle of men much larger than them, crashing into each other at a high speed. It's hard to see stuff. You're going to make mistakes. I have no trouble reversing calls.
I think if you miss 3 calls, you should be drawn and quartered in midfield during halftime. Or actually just call the guy over and go, "This is the guy that screwed it up. Hey, everybody say hi to Ted." Ted screwed it up.
He lives at 1621 East.
Here's his email address in case you guys want to send him something nice.
Yeah. What about Kyle Hamilton?
Outstanding, all over the field. The Vikings had no answer for Hamilton as a pass rusher in this game. And I don't think people have been asking me how many safeties have really had this impact as a pass rusher. And Derwin James did as a rookie. He was fantastic. Emin Wari is probably having some similar impact on the game. But Hamilton, they just had no answer for him. And one of the false starts they had, Jake Brandell, the center, just moved the ball before the snap. Well, the real reason was Hamilton moved right over top of him. And, he's now distracted between making a new line call to get that out of there, snapping the football, remembering the snap count, doing all that. And he flinched on the ball.
I'll wait and watch Draymond, because I think Kyle Hamilton is the best pass rusher on the team as far as technique. He's a safety. It's kind of ridiculous, but I'll see how our new addition works out.
I think he's the best everything on the team on that side of the ball.
Much.
All right, Ken, we're going to get into some more with the defense. Want to get your thoughts on the offense as well. We heard from some of the Vikings players basically saying they thought the Ravens just took what they gave them. There was nothing, very vanilla offense. We'll see what you think. I did like the one play design, too. I want to get into that with you as well. We'll have Ken McKusick, Film Study Baltimore, coming back for another segment right here on The Fan.
After the Big Bad Morning Show, it's Vinny and Haney.
Welcome back. Second segment here with Ken McKusick of Film Study Baltimore. Talking a lot of things, or all things Ravens. Ed, you got something for him?
Well, before we go to the soft side of football, let's stick with the defense.
Get out of here.
Let's talk about
We make you guys look good.
Oh, please. What about the defensive back? We talked about Kyle Hamilton. We talked about the pass rush. I mean, some of these guys, I think Wiggins looked good this year. Marlon's come on. How about Awuzie? He's a name that people were not familiar with, and he seems like he's playing well.
Yeah, terrific game. So he came in. Marlon was hurt. Apparently, he had some finger injury he's dealing with on Thursday, but might have gotten worse during the game because he had to leave. Chidobe Awuzie came in and replaced him. He's also in on dime snaps before that. Did not allow a reception on 3 targets. Did have a kind of a ticky-tack 38-yard DPI at a missed tackle as well. But the play of the game, in a lot of ways, was when the Vikings went for the math 2-point conversion. I'll call it down 8. They went for 2, and Awuzie not only broke it up, he actually had to make a switch because of the pick play that Thielen had set on Hamilton. And just an outstanding switch, got there and skied for the ball and knocked it away. It's a great play.
Let me switch gears, because if this goober is going to talk about defense the whole time. Oh, sorry. Offense. We were kind of talking in the commercial break. Lamar getting pressured. What did you see in that game?
Yeah, so Brian Flores is famously known for the 2021 game at Miami, where he showed 40 cover zero blitzes to Lamar, and Lamar had a lot of trouble deciphering. It was the first time that they'd really gone after him in that way. He threw the kitchen sink at him in this game. He averaged 5.2 and change, 5.27 rushers per play. 2 ample time and space opportunities. There 2 times he had a 3-second pocket the entire game. Wow. 11 times the ball was out quickly. And by the way, the ball probably has to come out more often quickly when you're under that pressure. He's pressured 17 times and 2 ample time and spaces. That's the relationship that you would never win a game if that happens. And Lamar, beat his expectation by 26 yards, even though he had a very poor game by his own standards. Beat his expectations in terms of yards by 26 games and didn't turn it over.
What about the rushing attack? Derrick Henry seemed to have a better game as it went on. He seemed to have trouble getting started. If he gets hit, if he doesn't get a couple of steps going, once he gets a few steps going, then it's all, you're off to the races. He's unstoppable. But until then, sometimes he's neutralized. How do you gauge his game? Did you see enough of Keaton Mitchell? Why don't we see more of him? Because he seems like he's a pretty dynamic player.
Okay, so we'll start with Mitchell. I'll go back to Henry then. Mitchell, the more the merrier from my end. And they put him in for 3 consecutive plays, ran him 3 straight. He had 2 good runs in a row. Then he got trapped behind the line of scrimmage for a -2, and had a run of maybe 8 yards or something a little bit later in the game. So played very well. The only thing I didn't like, and I'm surprised he didn't get pulled, but not only did he not get pulled, he got the ball on the very next play, fumbled the ball out of bounds, and it's obviously not something they want to see. But terrific breakaway runner, and exactly what the Ravens need as a complement. With Henry, the Ravens need to figure out some things about the offensive line in general to get better point of attack blocking. It gets him that first crease into level 2. He's deadly when he does that, and that's central to getting the most out of Henry, I'd say. There's something else I want to say, but I forgot what it was.
Well, all right, so let me stay with this then, because with the running game with Lamar comes the offensive line. Let's talk about Falele, since we never bring him up. He wasn't the worst offensive lineman this week, according to you, Ken, right?
No, he's pretty close, but there were a bunch of players who played very poorly in this one. So Stanley, let me go through the grades here.
Please, yeah.
So Stanley, a C+. He played the entire game. Really interesting development. Carson Vincent was active for this game, and Joe Noteboom was not. So Stanley goes down, fairly often. Carson Vincent would have been in there in this game. At least I presume so. I presume they didn't have some plan to move Rosengarten to left tackle. Voorhees got an F in the game. 13 missed blocks, 2 1/3 pressures, half a sack. It's his worst game of the season.
How do you miss 13 blocks?
It's not impossible, believe me. And it's not engaging.
Hold on, did you count when 2 guys ran by him? Did you count both of them? Is that what happened? Like, I don't know which one to block, so I won't block anyone.
That would increase Falele's total for sure. So Linderbaum also an F. He missed 10 blocks. By the way, 4 of the guys missed 10+ blocks in this game.
Wow.
Linderbaum, his center, has never missed that many blocks, but he had 10 in this. And he also just got abused by whoever was opposite him, but it was mostly Javon Hargrave, the ex-Steeler, gave him a lot of trouble with pressures. Daniel Falele didn't have a good game. It was a D, but the good thing about Falele is even when he's constantly missing run blocks, he doesn't give up too many pass rush events. He did give up a quarterback hit in this game and 1/3 of a pressure. 13 missed blocks, though, and it was his worst game since Buffalo in Week 1. Rosengarten had a C. That looks pretty good on this table of grades here, but he gave up 2.33 pressures and 11 missed blocks. So it was an ugly, ugly game, and it was borne out by the poor opportunity set that Lamar has. But honestly, the offensive line, for a game they didn't get penalized, the grades were pretty darn bad.
So going forward now, not that I hate when people say this. We have calls. Oh, they got film on this. Now, yeah, I know. The coaches all know what's going on. That's what they do for a living. Seeing the Dolphin game years ago and now this game with Flores, Is this going to be what people just start doing, realizing this may be the way to beat a better team with an elite quarterback?
I mean, I'm very concerned already because I think other teams had been using a fairly high-pressure scheme against Lamar to crowd the line of scrimmage because they don't want to let Henry and Lamar mess point dominate the game. Right. But I think now, we'll see more heavy blitz schemes against the Ravens than we have even to date. And Lamar's got to prove that he can beat it. And part of that is changing to be, at least when needed, an on-schedule thrower. It's not the way he normally does it. Yeah.
Talking to Ken McKusick here, filmstudybaltimore.com. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up was Pat Ricard. How much are we starting to see Pat Ricard look more like Pat Ricard?
Yeah, bumped up to 37 snaps in this game. I thought he did a good job run blocking, particularly late when the Ravens needed to run out the clock. I think he was one of the big contributing factors to it. Didn't have a perfect game. Wasn't great as a pass blocker in this game, but they asked an awful lot of him as a pass blocker.
You think he gets better as the season goes on? This is just kind of his, I'm serious, like his preseason since he didn't have it, or is this?
I could believe there's some, there was some significant rust after not playing for so long.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't know like if a calf injury or whatever is lingering or if there's any issues there because, I mean, people were talking about, was it 2 weeks ago when he got run over?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was, or 3 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, he got run over and everybody was like, ooh, what happened there? I mean, look, it happens, but not used to it. I think it was Burns that got him.
Yeah.
Or not Burns.
Burns the Giants, I mean, yeah.
Pass rusher that used to play for the Dolphins.
Right, yes. Back to, not quite Ricard, but Monken. A few things I did like where people complain about him being so predictable. I thought one was just the simplest play in football, which is a fullback dive. Mm-hmm. They don't do it if ever, but they did it in this game. Look, Ricard was right behind Lamar. He takes the ball for a first down and gets in. I think that I like that because they don't do it and did something different where the defense lost. Mm-hmm. And also with the fake tush push where Lamar got the ball. I like that call too. Did you like some of the play calling for Monken better than I liked it better than usual?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly like those two plays. They give something up when they dive with Ricard, which is why they don't do it too much. But certain players just never get the ball. Like Vontae Leach was a guy who just never got the football in his time before he came to the Ravens in particular. I think the Ravens did give it to him.
He's going to get it here with the Texans. He didn't.
Yeah. He had like 3 career carries or something and 2 fumbles, I think, before he came to Baltimore. That might have been a reason.
So as we look at it, overall, kind of wrapping this thing up, the Ravens did a good job getting a win, getting the hell out of Dodge. We asked this question earlier. Do you think they make the run to the postseason now looking at the division?
Yeah, I mean, the chances, I think, are pretty good right now. It's not a sure thing by any stretch. The gambling markets, I think, are probably more efficient at describing what will happen than something like DVOA, which puts it actually lower for the Ravens right now than normal. Normally, DVOA is up here and gambling markets are down here in terms of their expectations of the Ravens, but it's flipped now.
But is their DVOA thrown off because of the beginning of the year? It's an average, right?
Sort of.
Okay.
They use something called Dave to decide it, which uses their preseason expectations as well. So not exactly.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I mean, that's what I was curious about because, like, again, looking at the way that all these things are kind of put out there, I think, like, I literally had somebody send me a message, and I talked about it last segment or 2 segments ago, of why is there an illegal formation thing? Why is that something that gets called? But there, with this, it's another part of it too, when you're looking at the math and seeing what makes sense as far as where a team is, because I think the league's all over the place. Week to week. I mean, Buffalo just lost to Miami. We had Carolina lose to the Saints. I mean, this is just an ugly league.
Before we break, just quickly.
Yeah.
It used to be illegal to assist a runner. That was a penalty in the NFL. Now we do it. Everybody's doing it. I don't know if you saw the Lions game. 3 people pushed Gibbs over the goal line this weekend.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and
Laporta, I think, was pushing. Should they go back to having it be illegal?
I mean, it does look like a lot of plays are just rugby scrums at this point, and I think it's difficult to officiate because they're saying he's blocking somebody who's engaged with the runner also, who's probably trying to make the tackle. I'd be fine either way. Let's just get it consistent. The tush push, I think they ought to make illegal because they can't really officiate it unless they go to an over-the-ball camera and some replay on it kind of thing, which would be difficult. So there's certain plays, it's just a good thing to make illegal because you can't make a call on it.
Yeah.
Talking to Ken McKusick, filmstudybaltimore.com. Tell everybody about the website and where they can find you.
Yeah, appreciate it. So you just said the website. I'm at Film Study Ravens on Twitter. Defensive notes for the Vikings games are out there now. So if you want to read an article, if you want to wait for a podcast, it'll be out before noon today, and about 2 hours of content, including an exhaustive look at those 8 false starts by the Vikings.
Unbelievable. Ken, as always, man, we appreciate your time. We'll do this again next week and all throughout the season as we'll see if these Ravens can keep stacking up W's. Coming up next, though, talk about who we think the front runner for the MVP is in the NFL. 410-583-1057.